The Tower of God has been crueler than Bam Bomb bargained for. He never saw it coming, too focused on his reunion with Rachel to see what was really going on, blinded by his feelings for the girl who had none. Her task to climb the tower was simple: kill Bam. Rachel and the others think he's dead, but his story doesn't end here. It's just beginning. Below the testing area, Bam comes to, and the red-haired woman is there. She tells him that he'll find the answers he seeks at the top of the tower. Though Bam disagrees, he resolves to climb the tower, regardless. She introduces herself as Hua Ryun and promises to train him. Yuri returns to the palace, where she's greeted by another princess, Masheni. She's there to see Repelista, who asks for a favor in exchange for looking for Bam. Yuri insists he's still alive despite the news of his death. On the 20th floor of the tower, the regulars get screened and must pass a test to achieve E rank, at the very least to continue climbing. The fee for the test makes this difficult, however, creating a hive of scum and villainy. One of these test takers gets psyched. This time, he'll pass the test for sure, at least until a woman wipes out the whole room with her fire powers. Back at his flat, his debtors come to collect. Unfortunately, he's a bit strapped for cash right now. He'll do anything just to take the test one last time. They agree and hand him a flyer for the newest organ diet. Guaranteed to lose weight? By pawning off your organs. Blondie reluctantly takes the deal. One last test for his organs. When he arrives, an announcer details the first stage, a 30-minute survival game. One test taker enters every 3 minutes. Whoever survives, passes. He enters the test chamber to find one guy standing over a handful of test takers he's taken out. Realizing he probably doesn't stand a chance, he goes for a truce and introduces himself as Jia Wangnan. The guy doesn't say anything and goes to sit down, so Wangnan joins him. When the next test taker enters, he pulls the same thing, and again when the next one enters, and again when the next one enters. When the last test taker enters, he tries to convince them to get rid of the kid and the woman who knows him. When he puts it to a vote, Wangnan tries to flip the script and vote him out instead. The kid in the black robes, who was there from the start, speaks up, saying nobody needs to vote. They'll all be eliminated. The bald guy who came in last decides to defend himself, but dark and moody, he doesn't care about the others' warnings and attacks. He's a wave controller, and the woman recognizes the crest on his clothing. He's a member of FUG, the most influential crime syndicate in the tower. The others decide to team up against him, though their attacks are ineffective, and he easily takes them out. There are only 30 seconds left. If Wangnan can survive, then he passes. When he starts begging for his life, Dark and Moody gets a flash of memories. It's Bam. Wangnan tosses some of his grenades at the distracted Bam, which stops him, but he quickly heals himself. The timer runs out, and when Bam gets in the elevator, Wangnan reminds him of meeting Coon for the first time. Since they all passed, they wait in the next area for the second phase of the test. The little girl hands out chocolate and gives one to Bam despite the woman freaking out about his FUG allegiance. The rest of the test takers arrive, and Wangnan recognizes the delivery kid he ran into a few times before. The flamethrower girl and some guy waltz in with an entourage behind them. She's wearing a Yan family headband, one of the 10 great families. Wangnan sees the loan shark, Kim Lurker, waving at him before walking over. Apparently he's there to take the test. The kid with his arm around the Yan girl is Prince, his employer's son. He hired mercenaries to help fix the test. Kim offers his condolences since Wangnan is such a loyal customer. The proctor appears and details the second test. Their physical strength will be tested using a Shin-Su device. Their name, score, and ranking will be displayed on the screen. This will determine the 8 test takers who advance. Wangnan is first up, and 10th in the rankings. Prince tries to place a bet for Yiwa, the Yan girl. If she were to come in first, she'd win her freedom back. Kang, the big guy, hits the ball and shoots to the top of the rankings after talking smack. But he's pushed down to second once the mercenary is up. Yiwa winds up, but falls flat on her face. Still, it was more than enough to get first rank. That is until Prince takes first place. The bald guy just laughs it off. The gloomy kid is obviously the strongest one there. He's proven right when Bam, going by Viole, blows their scores out of the water. The proctor announces that Viole will now choose the 7 people who will take the next test with him. He did say it was a test to choose 8 regulars, not that the top 8 would go on to the next test. Before Viole can say anything, Jia Wangnan introduces himself and starts to beg him to choose him. The bald guy starts to beg him too, trying to gain sympathy by saying his daughter is higher in the tower. Even Yuri tries to convince him. But Viole says he chooses no one. He doesn't see anyone worthy of being on his team. Yikwa says he's a fraud, though Viole denies this. He's a Fug Slayer candidate. His sole mission is to kill Wang Nanhad and his entire family. So they can't be teammates since they're sworn enemies. The proctor proposes a game. If Viole wins, then his request will be granted. If not, then he must choose 7 teammates. Yua and Viole share a room, and she tries to butter him up, thinking he's actually a woman. In the changing room for the baths, Viole finds Wang Nan's ring, with Wang Nanhad's crest on it, and tells him not to lose it. Which is a relief, since Wang Nan expected him to kill him right then and there. Wang Nan is sharing a room with the kid, Naya. The test administrator, Love, swears to his boss that he's going to kill the FUG member, but his request is denied. The group from the initial test decides to play cards and notices the little girl, Miseng, taking candy from a creepy lady. The bald guy scares her off and chastises Miseng, only to make her cry. So Wang Nan invites both her and Goseng to their game. After the test takers take time to relax, they head to bed only for the test proctor to call. It's test time. The test is called the Trustworthy Room. The goal is to secure 7 teammates and 6 rooms. With their remotes, they're to choose a gatekeeper and leader for each room. The leader's role is to recruit people or steal rooms, which will be transferred to that team. Gatekeepers protect the rooms and are the ones leaders must steal from. Once rooms are taken, the leader can transfer leadership and appoint a new gatekeeper to said room. Leaders cannot be gatekeepers. Each room has a remote that unlocks the door, and one must stay there along with one gatekeeper. Each remote has 2 connectors. To capture teammates, the leader's connector goes into slot 1 and the new teammate's connector into slot 2 before pressing the blue button. For capturing rooms, the new owner's connector goes into slot 1 and the gatekeeper's connector into slot 2 before pressing the red button. The 6th room the teams have to acquire is 608-Yua and Viole's room, which is necessary to win. Whoever claims it and 7 teammates wins. The only one these rules don't apply to is Viole. Both he and Yua's connector have leader and gatekeeper roles. Though Viole's is with Love, if he wants to win and advance alone, he must retrieve it and steal the room from Yihua. He also wins if fewer than 7 people survive for one reason or another. Prince leaves Rob Devil in his room and heads to find Viola. Meanwhile, Yihua blocks the door to 608. But Viole isn't fazed. He freezes her in place and walks right by. Prince opens the door before he can leave, so he freezes him too. Kang and the bald guy argue over who should leave, both citing the other's worry for Goseng and Miseng, respectively. The bald guy eventually gives in and goes to check on the little girl. But Miseng refuses to open the door. The bald guy's yelling scares her. That, and Goseng told her not to open the door for anyone. So he sits by the door to protect her since she doesn't want to be alone. The creepy lady from before shows up intent on taking the kid out. She tries to convince the bald guy to work together, but he refuses. Miseng reminds him of his daughter. And he wants to protect her, if nothing else. Goseng walks into Nia and Wang Nan's room. She wants to be on their team. Wang Nan's determination and confidence in the face of utter defeat inspired her to climb the tower again, since she had all but given up. Elsewhere, Kim Lurker runs into Prince and tells him that Rob Devil is dead. Some random test takers ask them if they want to kill Viola. They have a plan if only they join their team. Viole heads to take the connector from Love, who proposes a little game of catch. If he can catch it before it hits the baseball glove on the other side of the room, he can have it. But if he gets 3 strikes, he's out. He can always give up and take the teammates. Viole tries to stop the first pitch, but Love sends it flying into the wall. Foul ball. So instead of stopping the connector, Viole tries to freeze Love, only to get blasted into the wall himself. Meanwhile, Yihua opens the door to 608 when someone named Tien says they're there on behalf of Prince. But when she opens the door, another test taker takes over her body. When Prince goes to check on his room, he reveals the previously hidden connector and gets ambushed by Rob Devil, who wasn't actually dead. It looks like Kim has been lurking behind the scenes, plotting to betray Prince's father. Wang Nan and the bald guy use the creepy lady as a decoy to steal their room. He calls Nia to see if their room is okay, but Kim is lurking on the other line. Nia apologizes for betraying Wang Nan. He was only trying to protect the elderly lady who owns the ramen shop where he works. She owed money to the loan sharks, and he thought her debt would be wiped if he helped Kim. However, Kim has no intention of wiping anyone's debts. In fact, he planned to kill the kid from the start. With the others still on the line, Kim beats Nia to death as they all listen. Wang Nan is furious and swears revenge. Kim reveals his plans like an idiot, so Kang decides to help Prince, while Wang Nan rushes off to make a deal with the devil. Love's game is still underway, and there's one last pitch for all the marbles. Viole attacks using Love's own techniques against him, despite only seeing them once. It takes him off guard, but Viole is not the only one who can freeze people in place. Before he can finish the game, however, Wang Nan appears and grabs the connector. He promises to give it to Viole if he helps him avenge Naya's death. He finally found someone to share a meal with again, and it was taken away on the same day. Is the tower supposed to make dreams come true or ruin them forever? Either way, assholes who keep others from fulfilling their dreams over their own don't deserve to climb. Kang rushes to help Prince and finds Kim and Yihua at the door. To their surprise, Viole rushes down the hall and tells them to stop. He turns to Yihua and says he still isn't interested in her body, which snaps her back to reality long enough for Viole to exorcise her possessor. Prince distracts Rob Devil and opens the door, allowing Kang to enter while Viole goes after Kim. Kang asks Rob Devil the same question he asked during the strength test, if he's ever seen a devil, before releasing the devil in his right arm. Wang Nan busts into Kim's room with Viole in tow and begins beating up Lurker. Kim tries to play things off since he was in the same boat, drowning in debt, before he became a loan shark. Wang Nan knows that if he gets revenge, it just perpetuates the cycle of violence, so he forgives him instead. An announcer lists those who passed the test. Viole, Wang Nan, Miseng, Goseng, Kang, Akraptor, Prince, and Yihua. Love apologizes to the administrator, though he's told to forget about his revenge against Foog. After he leaves, the test admin reports that Jia Wangnan passed the test, all according to Fugi's plans. That night, Viole asks Wangnan what made him want to forgive Kim. Well, if he ever became like him, he'd want to be forgiven too. Viole asks, what about the tower he wants to change? Wangnan says it's all just kind of shite. He wants a place where everyone can be happy. So he asks for Viole's help and is surprised when he accepts. Elsewhere on the 25th floor, Coon meets with a scout named Eden Dan in a cafe. Apparently he's so fast that he's never been caught the entire time he's been in the tower. Coon proposes that he join his team, though Eden refuses the offer. So Coon decides to make a bet. If he can catch him before he leaves, then he joins the team. If not, then he gets a large chunk of suspendium. Coon warns him that he hired everyone in the place, but Eden doesn't care and grabs the suspendium, making a straight shot to the emergency exit. But Coon expected as much. After all, why would he sit by the exit if he hadn't blocked it beforehand? Refusing to give up, Eden makes another break for it. When he tells the guy behind the bar that the blue-haired kid is footing the bill, he gets tranquilized and taken to the team headquarters. Coon visits Rachel while another teammate, Novik, fills Eden in on the details and takes him to meet the others. Apple the scout, Michael the wave controller, Gitang the spear bearer, and Ran the fisherman. Apparently they're all going to fight to find out who's the strongest among them. Rachel is still putting on her act years after she tried to kill Bam. But it's not fooling Coon. Lero Rowe told him that the doctor who was in charge of fixing Rachel's legs said there wasn't anything wrong with them. Coon let Shibisu in on it and asked him to climb the tower with the others while he gathered a separate team with Rachel. He wanted to be the only one to carry the burden of knowing that Rachel killed Bam. She's the only one who could lead them to Bam's killers anyway. Eden gets ready to fight, but the entire team besides Ran and Novik sits this one out. He soon follows. Novik just wants an excuse to try and beat Ran in a fight, though it's not in the cards. Afterwards, Coon tells them he applied to take the next test in 1 month. He'll climb the tower, become the head of the Coon family, and give them whatever they ask for. In exchange, he wants them to be nice to Rachel without truly becoming her friend. They have to be ready to turn their back on her. He wants them to hate her as much as he does, since she's the one who killed his best friend. A few floors down, Yuri wonders why the others aren't keeping tabs on Viole when he goes out. Wangnan and Akraptor don't see the need. Viole seems like a stand-up guy ever since they've been staying with him. Yuri gives up and decides to tail him herself. She follows him to a karaoke place and rushes inside when she hears a glass break. It turns out that some meathead has been impersonating Viole, giving him a bad name. Hua Ryun points out Yua's presence after the impersonator is taken care of. A third Fug member, Jin Sung, enters and questions if she's a spy for the Yan family. Viole tells him to back off. She's one of his teammates. Yuri refuses to stop yapping, so Viole knocks her out. And they all head back to his place and meet the team. Things are super tense. Jin Sung tells them how he's the one who trained Viole, and that he can replicate any move after seeing it once, which was something he'd never seen before. When he notices Viole isn't there, he decides to go look for him. Goseng and Miseng decide to leave too. Ryun tells Wangnan that he's lucky. Jin Sung planned to wipe out the entire team today if they weren't up to snuff. Curious, Wangnan wonders what the point of trying to kill Wang Nanhad is when everyone in the tower is bound by contract and can't hurt the king. Ryun asks what happens if someone opens the doors to the tower themselves if they weren't from there to begin with. Wangnan puts 2 and 2 together and figures out Viole is an irregular. He wonders why he's even working with FUG. Ryun reveals that he's being forced to. If he goes against their will, then they'll kill his teammates. If he fails a test, or goes against any orders, they'll take them out one at a time. So later, Wangnan tells Viole that he'll stick by him and help out as much as he can. The next day, they're taken to their next test, in the middle of the ocean. The proctor says the arena will appear. And it does. A giant creature rises from below the surface. It's called Zygana, and their task is to retrieve a flower that only grows inside of it. They split up into 2 teams. There are blowholes on its stomach and back. Every half hour, it flips over, so each team will enter opposite holes. Once inside, the first team finds a small creature darting around with the flower on its back, and they give chase. When the other team makes it inside, Prince and Kang are attacked by some monster, only to meet an even bigger monster. Some shirtless guy. He tells them that their presence is a problem, and calls himself the most powerful person in the tower. They've been sending rankers to kill him, but it looks like they ran out, if they're sending regulars. Viole catches up to them and tells them to get to a safe place. The shirtless guy is surprised by his balls, but is excited nonetheless to have someone to play with. Thank you guys for sticking till the end of this video. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the like button for more videos like this. Cheers!